All right, 21 things that you can just get out of your house. You're not even going to miss them. That's the best part. But it's going to free up space and bandwidth.
21 things in 21 seconds. Go.
Go. You got it. Should we share what the 21 things are?
Okay.
Well, hello. I'm Dawn from the Minimal Mom. And I know we have a lot of new friends now too, which is awesome. So this is my twin sister, Diana, if you haven't met before. Should we speed round? Whoops, excuse me. That's rude. Should we speed round the twin questions would get asked?
Okay. Do you want to ask or answer?
I'll ask you answer.
Okay.
Are you identical twins?
We are, although right now
we don't look so
not
much like
much.
it.
Okay. Catch me at the end of summer. Okay.
Diana actually just got this shirt for me. It's the colors in our color palette, which we've been working behind the scenes to find like the best way for you to know your colors too, if you haven't.
Yeah.
So we'll be sharing that coming up. But you're kind of like, we're over the black now in the new light color era.
Doesn't this look so nice?
No, I really like it. I wouldn't normally choose just because keeping it clean, like getting makeup on it or dirty. But anyways, I'm gonna try.
It's a new era for the Minimal Mom. This also is in our color palette.
Yeah. I like it.
Okay.
Once you know your colors.
So do we share the same color palette? A professional might tell us no, but it's easier for us to say yes, and then we can share clothes. So we do.
Yes, I think we do it. Even with your, so like natural hair color, this is our natural hair color. This is not, but it's beautiful. I mean,
it just works, right? I don't know. This works on you and this.
I love it on you.
Yeah.
I'm just not, I try to be super low maintenance. And so I think for the summer, I might try and do some highlights.
I thought just a little face framing.
You've been trying to talk me into it. So
help me out in the chat. Should Dawn do a little face framing?
Also, did you have bunk beds when you were growing up?
We did. And we would change top and bottom every year on our birthday in order to keep it fair, equitable.
Because we both want to be on the top bunk.
Naturally.
Yeah, obviously. Let's see. Did your parents dress you the same?
Well, yes and no. We were clothed from garage sales. It was a very modest upbringing. And so there are actually many photos of us in boys' clothing. Mm-hmm. But when they were received as gifts or like on an occasional Christmas outfit, then we would be dressed the same.
Yeah. So if our mom like got a gift that was matching outfits, she'd put them and she would take pictures. Like we have lots of pictures actually of us.
I don't know how she did it. Looking back, our parents both worked full time. I used to really want twins. And then we were at the pediatric dentist with our first, and a mom came in with 2 carriers on this big frame, and they're both crying. And I was like, nope.
Yep.
Done.
Nope.
Not for me.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know how she did it.
Bless our mom. Yeah. Who was the more easygoing twin?
I think, in the chat, guess, but no, it's all day.
You've really tempered your,
Thanks. I have.
I don't even know what I would call it. It's not a bad thing. You're really driven.
It's just drive.
Yeah. And
excitement.
Yeah. So it's good.
I like to tell people what to do.
A little bit.
Wear
that shirt. Do this with your makeup. Do this with your hair.
Face
highlights. What are we doing? I'm like,
So
I only kind of care.
Maybe you've tempered me. I was going to say it's age, but I think
it's 4 kids. So we have 4 kids ages 10 through 15. You have 4 kids ages
6 to 1.
Yeah. So ours will kind of like,
I had Dawn's kids in Culver's and I was pregnant with the 4th. So we had 7 kids and 1 on the way. The looks we got from the elderly people there, they just thought it was so sweet to see a big family.
Yeah.
Because your kids actually kind of match my kids too with the darker hair.
Sure.
We just looked like they all just step perfectly. And your kids are so good with my kids.
Yeah. And Princeton would actually love that. He would love for you to have like 4 more kids.
Adopt all your kids. Oh yeah, have 4 more. Yeah.
Any other twin questions that we're missing?
Oh, do I feel your pain?
Yeah.
Thank God, no.
Did we have like our own language growing up?
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm. Supposedly. We don't have, recordings of it.
My 2-year-old just jabbers. And so I just imagine you, like that would be me.
Yeah.
Jabbering. And you just being like, Okay. Yep.
It's funny because now mom can tell like if I'm on the phone with you because mostly I'm like agreed and like, oh yeah, you just have to get your words out.
It's hard to believe I've been working from home for 5 years now. I think I have 5 years backlog of words that it can be the customer service person on the phone, cashier at the gas station.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. All the words I have to use.
Yeah. I love it. When did you both start doing different hair from each other and change your style? We always had, probably from like, I think kindergarten was, we had really long hair until kindergarten. My mom knew enough to cut it before then, so it'd be easier.
Remember second grade, I cut all my hair off?
I would say from then on, kind of, you were always doing your own thing.
Yeah, but you were really good because you always kept your hair long. You could learn how to French braid your hair and also, we always had it pretty different. I think in our 20s, we kind of came back together.
Mm-hmm.
But then after marriage, kind of went our own separate ways.
And then I had it like 5 or 6 years ago. My hair was longer and I do the loose curls. And then I just was like, I don't care that much. And short is easier. And Angela Braniff said she liked short hair on me, and I trust her beauty and fashion stuff. So well, if Angela says that, then so, and it's just so much easier. So, yep. How many kids do you each have? So we each have 4. Is Diana the bossy one? Is that what we're saying?
Oh,
yeah.
You can call it type A.
She'll own it.
You, the one in charge, the natural leader might be a really nice.
Yes. Okay. I think that's good. Do you both ever randomly do things the same? So we went to separate colleges. So you would have been fine going to the same college. I was always the quiet one, kind of in the background. So I thought, this is probably a good time for us to go separate colleges,
not background in a bad way.
No, I didn't mind. I am like the happy helper behind the scenes, Enneagram 2. Like, as long as I don't feel like I'm being taken advantage of, I'm just like, I'm going to make you look good, But then when college came, I was like, I think maybe we'll try different. Yeah. And so it was great. We had a friend from high school came to visit my college, and I was just in my dorm room with my roommates, and we're all talking, and she was like, Dawn, I have never heard you talk this much ever. And my roommates are like, what are you talking about? Dawn talks all the time. Turns out I was being oppressed.
She said oppressed, not depressed, just so you know. Okay, just to clarify.
But we would still like get together on the weekends and stuff.
And we've always had all the same interests. Like, we both went to college and we both were athletic trainers. So we'd work with the sports teams. We both worked with the football teams. We studied. We both were personal trainers. And then we got into media together, radio and then media. And so that's all been, we're really similar, but different but compatible.
Yeah. And I mean, Diana's my number one cheerleader. Yeah, by far. Like, she's like, yeah, you got this. I know you've said this before, but who was born first?
Well, I just recently figured out how this went. So
I was born first. But
yes, I was at the proper exit, if you will. Okay, if you imagine life in the womb, and then I did not know that this was actually going to be a scheduled C-section. And so I was ready to go and win. But then they grabbed Dawn first. But I was actually kind of okay with that because I was like, hey, go check things out. Let me know what it's like out there. Like, oh, it's
I think either of us could have been a firstborn and had the, I don't know, aren't firstborn usually a little more domineering and like.
Yeah, they're just used to having to kind of help and be in charge. Whereas middle child, which is technically what I am, is more the peacekeeper.
Yeah, and I fall into that.
So that's why I think
they got it wrong. The doctors messed with nature.
Yeah, I should have been first. Okay.
Yeah. Did you both ever date twins? My mom and her sister married my dad and his brother. That's awesome. We never knew any guy twins. Ironically, there was 5 sets of twins in our grade,
which was a lot,
but no boy twins. So yeah, it was a lot. We didn't have a huge class. So no, we did. I thought it'd be cool to have a double wedding, but you didn't. I think you had thought like, I want my own thing. It's fine.
The timing didn't work out. Okay.
Yeah, and there's that too. Yeah. What is your favorite thing to do together in your current season of life?
Oh, we went and had nachos. Sunday afternoon, evening. Yeah.
Yeah, we like to meet up, go out to eat or get coffee or
do this. We talk shop a lot.
We love talking about YouTube and our membership groups and strategy and ideas. I think we just like talking about ideas. Vacations. Who would we go with? Where would we go? What would we do? Like,
I mean, I tell Dawn.
Yeah.
She listens.
And then I just say, okay.
That's what we like to do. I like to talk.
It's what Diana likes to do. So I go along with it.
And so, yes, we talk on the phone every day and about 20 to 60 minutes.
Yeah, easy. Yeah. Do you ever think the same things? Yeah. I think it's from spending 42 years together.
Yeah, we see the world. If I'm looking for someone to agree with me, like that was silly, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like I will always get a yes. You know, my husband might be like, well, maybe this happened, or maybe that's what they were
You're
thinking.
like,
I was
wrong
like,
answer.
I'm calling Dawn.
I'm looking to be validated right now, not corrected.
I want someone who sees the world the exact same way I do.
Yeah. Yep. If Dawn, if you're at Enneagram 2, what is Diana?
I'm a 3. So I love to be center stage, but I also love other people to have that experience as well. That's why I like to tell people what to do.
Yeah.
So my husband is so warm and kind and loving. He will literally give you the shirt off your back. I will tell you where to find it and how to purchase it and how to fund it.
And what a good deal you got on
and
it.
how great you're going to feel in it. It's a little more complex.
That's awesome. Who is the naturally neat kid growing up?
Oh,
Were either of us?
No.
Were you?
Like our laundry system was clothes on the floor. Is that
No.
every
Yeah.
teenager? Like, I don't know why. Like when
Neither of
I look
us
back
are
at that
naturally
now,
neat.
you're right.
No.
But now I am.
Yeah, I think we've both learned just the necessity of it
Yeah.
and how it does impact our mental health and
Yeah.
everything. Diana, what's your YouTube channel?
At Diana Koku. There is actually only one Diana Koku in the whole entire world.
Oh, I love that for you. Because we share the same 100% the same DNA. So we're the same. So I love that there's your name
Only
is
one
at
of
least
me.
unique. Oh my gosh. I'd like to know how many people watching feel like their personality is right in the middle of YouTube because that's where I am.
Yeah.
Oh, you could be our triplet, Ashley. I love it.
There's a
That's
lot of
great.
yeah.
Oh, twin here. So tired of people asking me if my brother and I are identical. Yes. Yes. So this is funny. So I'm going back to school and getting my master's in psychology. And we really will get to the 21 things to declutter. I'm going to put timestamps here if you're watching the replay. Also, I wanted Diana to give commentary on my recent life updates as well. So we can just do a check-in too.
Yeah.
But so I'm getting my master's in psychology, just general psychology. And there's been a lot of twin studies for the nature versus nurture debate. We actually participated in the University of Minnesota twin study, largest twin study ever. And it was referenced in the textbook so many times. It was really fun.
Yeah.
But what's so interesting is if you are a twin or you know twins, the number one question that you get asked, and this is exactly how it's phrased, is which one are you? Which one are you? That was our whole upbringing. So
that's so funny.
And it wasn't until I went to college. Did you find this too when you went to college that people use my name?
Your first name.
Yes.
Because a lot of when we were working in the weight room and stuff, they would call us by our last name,
and
right?
Just
to be, yeah. And so when you started hearing your first name and with confidence and conviction not like Dawn,
yes.
And
Yep.
And we used to do things like, okay, the one with the short hair has the long name because I would have my hair short. So short hair, long name, long hair, short name.
Or I have two little scars. You can't see them. There's like a little filter on here. I have two scars right here. And then people are like, oh, she has the scars. And I'm like, don't use my flaws.
Yeah. The fact that I got hit by the porch swing is now how you tell us apart.
Do you know what your Myers-Briggs is off the top of your head? You would.
ESFJ.
ESFJ. Do you remember what mine is?
No. But yeah,
here we go. I am
my strengths finder is
ISTP.
So that's like all different than mine.
Yeah.
But it is so compatible.
I think so. Because I as introvert, right?
We've never ever not been best friends.
No, I mean, we've never had big blowouts or I just let Diana be right and then it's fine.
Just like a dream.
No, not really. We've been so fortunate. So, I mean,
if we could give everybody an identical twin stunt double, we would.
I think there'd be way less mental health problems, right?
And conflict.
Yeah.
And loneliness.
Yeah.
I've never been
a filter. Why? I don't know. They just put
it on.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't look to take it off. Okay.
Yeah. Someone's like, you can stop wearing the fake lashes now. And I'm like, I will not.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. It's okay. They're easy.
Yeah. I don't
Pop
know.
them on.
It's fine. I think that's the thing about being 42 is there's kind of like, hey, everyone can actually just do what they want to do.
Yeah. And if you don't know what to do, I'll tell you.
Diana will let you know. Just raise your hand and ask, and Diana will tell you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay. Well,
we're 15 minutes.
I know.
We used to
Oh.
do way back in the day on Sunday mornings, I would come on Dawn's channel and she had an extra video on Sunday mornings that was the two of us.
Mhm.
We would do a little bit of this, but we would also talk about faith and, share devotional type content. And so everywhere we go, people will tell me, I miss when you did that with Dawn. Your channel's nice, Diana. Like, thanks, but I really miss you with Dawn on Sunday mornings. So
Yeah.
you just got 15 minutes of that, and that was your.
There you go.
If we could hug
It's like
every
a
one of you,
throwback.
that would be our hug for the day.
All right. What was your religion growing up? And we'll go on to our 21 things to declutter.
So we grew up Catholic, which was just wonderful. Like, it's such a beautiful foundation. Our whole family went to the same little country church. And so it was very much a part of our family. And then all three of us, our brother and Dawn and I, all really made our faith our own in college and got to be part of different, like, evangelical and more Pentecostal types of churches.
Yeah.
And I just love all the different experiences. Like, I think it was really providential because now when we talk about it, we just talk about it in such a understanding way for every faith tradition. And even those who aren't part of a faith tradition right now, like, we're all looking for the same thing, And so I just think there's just so much that brings us together. And I really appreciate that about our upbringing. Like, we can really focus on that. So,
yeah. And again, I think going back to the, like, not having to make everybody do the same thing, like being able to really see the beauty in all the different traditions and how different people experience it differently. So, hey, that's awesome. We don't all have to be exactly alike in that. I love it. Now, where we do need to be exactly alike is decluttering some of this stuff that you might forget to declutter during the spring. That was a really bumpy segue.
I think it's because we realized we're gonna have to cuddle. Which is
I like it. So we shared a bed until we were in 5th grade, I think.
Like a big full-size bed.
Yeah. It was great.
We're going back. Yeah.
Yep. Sorry. Okay. So here's what I want to think about with spring decluttering is that I don't think we're meant to be surrounded by all of this dead stuff. Like, spring is all about new life and growth. And most of us, like, I think we don't even realize the heaviness we feel in our own homes. And a lot of times I think it's because we're surrounded by all this old dead stuff.
Like, I never thought of that.
And it drags us down. And there's a quote I love that says, "You're either growing or dying." Little morbid. You're either growing or dying. Stagnation does not exist in the universe. Like, nothing is ever just staying perfectly still, right? Everything is growing, expanding, moving, shrinking. And so I don't think many of us give enough weight to the fact that our homes actually are holding us back in all of this extra stuff. And that's what I felt as we got our house decluttered, was that I felt like the hope returned to our house, like that there's possibilities, there's autonomy, there's ability to pivot, to try different things. Even now, like going back to school for psychology is just like, that's a big deal, right? But I feel like it's possible. I'm not spending all my precious time and energy managing all the stuff. Do you feel like you've experienced that in your home?
Oh, yeah. No, this is actually, I have a little plant that I have somehow managed to keep alive in my kitchen window all winter. I don't even know how I did it, but there's something about nurturing something and seeing it grow and have life that just even in our house, especially in the winter in Minnesota, we don't have a lot of living things, but there is something about watching it grow, and it's actually getting a little bloom back.
Yeah.
And it's going to have a flower soon. And so I think having something around you and this also metaphorically, this concept it's life-giving. Yeah. It energizes you.
All right, here we go. We're going to power through 21 things. Permission.
Do they have to go get them and report it to us?
If you do that, you email support@theminimalmom.com. If you can get it done while you're watching this video, take a picture, send it to support@theminimalmom.com. We'll give away $200 gift cards to Amazon, randomly selected. And you have to do it by the end of the day on Friday.
Okay.
Did I cover all the rules? I don't know. Jackie is probably just like, Dawn.
Take a picture of your pile of 21 items.
Yep.
Send it to support@theminimalmom.com. If someone wants to put that in the comments, that'll be helpful. If you do it by Friday, Dawn is going to give away 2 $100 gift cards to Amazon.
Thanks. See, so I need structure.
That was beautiful. All right,
here we go. Number 1, unused cleaning products.
But you pay money for them.
Use it or lose it, baby. Like, it makes cleaning harder when we have all of these extra things. Pick your favorites, make them front and center, permission to let all the other stuff go.
But what about the one that's 80% full that I did spend money on, but it doesn't work?
offer it to a friend, bring it to work, put it in the break room, put a free sign on it, put it on Marketplace for free. There's places you can donate that kind of stuff. But otherwise, if you don't have the bandwidth for that, dump it down the drain and recycle the container and move on with life. Right?
Yeah, that's kind of my phase right now. Okay.
All right. Old expired beauty products. So we have Jesslyn in our membership group, and she's a stylist. And so she's been like helping us with all of this. Again, with anything that's expired, let's just look at the data. You're not using it.
Yeah.
Right. So could we just look at the data and say like, oh yeah, I'm not actually not using it. Why am I keeping this? So anything we're not using is clutter.
Because I paid money for it and I thought I was going to love it. And I thought this was the actual foundation that I would finally use and got the color right. And I forgot to return it.
How many foundations have you bought for me, Diana?
Well, I stopped.
I know. Well, kind of. You just got more makeup delivered.
That was concealer. Okay.
Concealer and eyeshadow.
Well, because you have to put the eyeshadow over the concealer when you put it on your eyelid.
Oh, I thought it was just actual concealer to use.
Okay, it's 2 steps. Because if you don't put something over it, when you put concealer on your eyelid, I just put a little powder on top so it doesn't.
So you're using it like a base for the.
Kind of, but weren't the eyeshadows beautiful?
Lovely. We'll link them.
Okay. Anyway, it's just hard when you pay money for this stuff.
It is.
Or you forget to return it. Like the color didn't match.
Yeah.
And you didn't get it back. And so.
I know.
But sunk cost. The money's gone. It's not coming back.
Permission to let it go. Our spring cleaning. Same with expired medications and vitamins. I had a bunch of like supplements at home when I was like packing stuff up, and I'm like, and they were expired and I spent money on them. But not only did I spend money on them, like I had hopes of improving my health with them. Right.
So many of that stuff too, I get like on Instagram late at night and you think, and you spent more than you thought. And, but this was going to be the secret. Yeah. A lot of this comes down to, I spent money on this.
Yeah. Number 4, old sheets and towels. So, just set a number for how many you're going to have per person or bed. So like we had 1 bath towel per person, 1 set of sheets per bed, and then 1 extra set in each size, like twin and queen. You don't need more than that.
Yep. All of our crib sheets match. And so we have 3 cribs right now. And I have a 4th extra gray fitted sheet and that's it. And so then if something happens during the night, you have 1 to put on and that's it. That was one of the most freeing things when you told me you didn't need an extra set of bedding for every bed. Like you could actually just wash it and put it back on.
Mind blown emoji.
You don't have to ever fold a fitted sheet again then.
No. And then number 5, duplicate kitchen gadgets. So getting rid of duplicates is a really safe way to start reducing the inventory in your home. And again, I'm a big proponent, like you have to set up your kitchen to serve your current season of life. And I feel like you've actually done that really well, Diana.
I'm cutthroat because we have 4 kids age 6 and under. We are drowning in stuff. The in shoot is like twice as like it's just crazy the stuff that comes in. And so in my kitchen too, we have little kid stuff right now. Like it has to be, that was another thing you taught me. A drawer doesn't have to be 100% full. So once I got that down, and then it feels good to have a little extra space in there and things that don't have to be shoved in and you can't even close the drawer. So
I know, like we don't have to put a hand on to hold it in while you shut the drawer. It's magical. Like it really is life-changing. Okay, this is good. So expired food in the pantry and freezer. Again, can we eat expired food? Yes. Why is it expired? Because you're not using it.
Good one.
So what I love to do is say like, hey, if you're the type that you're like, I cannot throw away expired food, pull it out and use it up in the next week or 2 in your meal plan. And then if you still don't, then throw it away.
Yeah.
So again, use it or lose it. Just pull it out, use it. And same with expired spices and seasonings. Isn't that crazy how fast? Like
that's actually why you should not buy the giant spice containers at Costco because it'll expire before you get to use it. Now, salt, pepper, probably fine.
Yeah.
Right. But you have to determine that.
Yep. How about random recipes and recipe books? I didn't realize how much FOMO I had from these like printed out recipes floating around or things you'd cut out of a magazine. I'm like, oh, that's like the best recipe ever. I have to try it. I was never getting to them. So permission to let all of that stuff go. If you need a recipe, you can go on Pinterest and find a recipe or ask a friend, right? We don't need to keep all of these extra ones.
No.
All right. This is a big one. Permission to get rid of broken items and unfinished projects. They usually go hand in hand because a lot of times, hey, we're good, right? We grew up on a farm. We can fix most things, right? So it's like, oh, I'm going to fix it. Then I don't have to feel bad about it or buy another one or whatever. again, set a deadline. Are you going to fix it by the end of the weekend, or you just need to let these unfinished projects go?
We've had our island has like the wood apron, it's called, around it, like a wood trim around it, and our stools bump into it and have chipped all the paint. I've had these clear corner protectors that I'm going to try putting on it sitting in the corner of our kitchen for like a year.
Yeah.
And now our 1-year-old likes to take it and hit things with it. And so finally I was like, I think they have spoken. They're going in the garage because this is not happening. Like, because I have to paint it to fix it and then put it on.
Okay.
Like, it's just not. And so finally I'm like, you know what? We're going to have to find a better plan, because obviously that wasn't a good plan, or I would have taken care of it.
Well, and I think that's the other thing maybe that comes with age too. Not that we're super old, but this realization of how little time we actually have.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, it's almost the end of February now.
How did that happened?
It is like beautiful in Minnesota right now. What is even the temperature outside? Like 50 something?
Degrees. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It feels like spring. And so again,
now we're going to want to be outside.
Yeah. Do I want to stay inside and deal with all this dead crap, or do I want to just let it go? I know.
Say it like it is,
Dawn.
Dawn.
People love when I say crap. Sorry. But like, let's put it in proper perspective. It's junk. If you are not using it and benefiting from it, it is clutter. It's not adding any value.
We've gotten to the tough love portion of the program. So if you're not ready for that, just drop the volume for one more minute, and then we're going to start hugging again.
And then I'll be done ranting.
Yeah. But it's true. It's not worth your mental health. It's not worth you always feeling bad about yourself because you haven't followed through. I really did feel bad. I spent, those things were like $25.
Yeah.
They're not cheap. I don't know why. They're plastic. I don't. And so every time I would see it sitting there, not only have I not followed through, I spent money on it. And so now it's not haunting me anymore.
I love it.
And you know what? Now I'm like, because I used to then get upset every time the kids would bang their thing into the, and now I'm like, bang away.
It is what it is, man.
It is what it is. We have little kids. It just is what it is right now.
Yeah. Number 10, books you'll never read. Again, FOMO, or this like weird, I should be doing it, you know? Like, if you're not getting to them, again, the data is just telling us like, oh, I don't have time for that.
Or maybe it wasn't. I'm not as interested in that topic as I thought I should be. I heard someone talk about it. It sounded like it was helpful for them. Turns out it's not my style or my stage of life, and that's okay.
Yeah. Old phone chargers and cords. How these multiply so much.
Does this happen to you though, where you have no idea what it's for anymore?
Yeah.
And that
but you'll notice there's like 3 main ends out there. So that's where you can just look at all the ends and you can get rid of duplicates.
Exactly.
So you might have 1 or 2 rando, like, I really don't know. Hang on to those. Fine. Just make sure you have a dedicated spot for it. So, you know, when you are looking for one, where it'll be. Number 12, pillows. So, you know, I love a good throw pillow. Don't get me wrong, but they can get kind of grody over time. Bed pillows, couch pillows. So spring's a great time just to kind of survey the situation and see if any need to be chucked out or replaced.
Or how do we end up with so many bed pillows? I don't actually know where they came from.
Really interesting.
Yeah, but
okay.
Yeah, toss those things.
Yeah. Unused exercise equipment. So again, keeping it does not make us use it, right?
No.
All we got to do is walk. Like, if it's not getting used, it's making us feel bad in our own homes. We don't need that stuff. The exercise clothes, all that.
What would you say is the proper amount of time if you never did use those dumbbells, jump rope?
1 year.
Pull-up bar.
Yeah, 1 year.
Okay.
Or if you have a place to store it, you want to tuck it out of sight, just don't keep it like on the floor in your bedroom where it's just like mocking you all the time or something.
No, tuck it under the bed.
Hide it.
Or at Goodwill.
Number 14, unused craft supplies. I think a lot of us hang on to it because we're like, well, just in case someday, what if? But again, a lot of this stuff, we don't do the crafts or the hobbies because we have to spend more time organizing it and taking care of it than just doing it. So, I mean, you don't do any crafts anymore.
What's a hobby?
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm sure I'll get back there.
I thought by this age, you know, our kids are all older, that I'd be like, oh, for sure I can craft again. No. Oh my goodness. Like, no, we've had so much less time as the kids get older. They're easier. It's different.
It gets better. Thank you.
Yeah. Everyone sleeps through the night and everything, but yeah, no time. And it's amazing how that stuff hangs over our head though. It makes us feel guilty.
But again, if it's been in the box, if it's been in the shelf for a year or more and you haven't used it to this point, like think really critically about, am I going to use it in the future or am I just not wanting to waste it?
Yeah. Look at the data. Winter gear. So this is the perfect time to go through what didn't get used this past year. Donate it. Let somebody else use it. Don't let it waste away in your storage or your closet. It's much better if someone else can make use of it. Okay, here we go, Diana. Broken
Oh.
kids' toys, missing pieces, outgrown.
So I did this experiment a while ago now, last summer, where I said the kids aren't picking up their toys at the end of the night. And Dawn said they have too many. And I was like, no, I really only have these 2 little cabinets.
You don't
like,
have a lot, yeah.
They're kind of 2 totes that go in each. And she said, well, it sounds like it's too much for them to pick up. And so I got rid of half of their toys, meaning I put them in trash bags or a tote in the basement, kind of time will tell.
Yep.
And tucked them away. The kids did not even notice.
Yep.
Now my 4-year-old has been looking for a fire truck that did get donated. And so we're working through that. Now I have to ask them.
Yeah.
We're getting to that age now, and my 6-year-old wants to know. But and that's good though. They need to learn about this. But I could not believe how little toys they needed and how much better they play and how much more creative they are without them.
Yes. 17 puzzles and games. So again, we just came through this season where we would have been playing the puzzles and games. Did you? We used to last winter, the kids were always doing a puzzle with dad.
Oh.
Didn't even take one out this winter.
Huh.
And I'm like, what happened? What changed? I don't know. But again, look at the data. We came through a slow season. Did we use it? No. Okay. Can we just keep a couple favorites and let the rest go?
Might it be fun next winter? Maybe you would fill that void and get a new puzzle. That would be more fun. And
worn out shoes and bags. So again, just look at the data. Am I actually going to wear these anymore? Is there, have I gotten a new pair and now I don't wear the old ones? It just keeps multiplying.
Or I didn't wear them all winter, so why would I keep them for next winter?
Yep.
That's good.
19, old paperwork and receipts. So I'm a big fan of a time will tell bin for your paper. So you put in magazines, catalogs, coupons, anything that's not action, but you're just like, it came in, I don't know what to do with it. And so this is a great time of year to spring clean that, get rid of anything that you're not using. And, it's been time tested. You haven't grabbed for it, so let it go.
I finally just put a small basket at the end of my desk rather than trying to file and organize that stuff when it really is just like, am I actually going to need this? I just toss it in there. Or if I need to just quick clear off my desk in the morning so I feel more organized, I just put stuff in there and then I can easily just take that out of sight or grab stuff back out of it. Yeah. You don't have to over organize. I think sometimes piles sit around because we're going to try to find the perfect system, but just put that stuff in a bin, at least so you could have a little peace of mind with it.
Yeah. And it's, I think many would say like, well, that's not a system. It actually is, because it's like you're saying, you're time testing it. Am I going to need it? Am I not? And once it sits in that basket for a month or two, now you feel better able to make a decision about it where right away you didn't.
Well, and I think we live in this ideal world where I would have time and energy and capacity for a filing system. I would have time and energy to cook all of my meals at home and to then also do my crafts and hobbies on Saturday afternoons and Sunday afternoons, and then use the exercise equipment every morning at 6. Like we actually feel like we should be able to do all of that. Yeah. And then that's why it mocks us. You can't.
Right.
Like pick one of those. Yeah. Which one's going to be your baby?
Yeah.
Because you literally can't. But we live in this lie, I feel like, because we see everybody doing everything or we feel like they are. Yeah. And it's just not, it's not possible.
Yeah. Well said.
Oh, now
Preach.
Tough love. But it's because we love you.
2 left.
Okay.
20, old garden and yard stuff. So again, don't drag anything into a new spring. Like this is a fresh start time of year, right? So if you didn't use it, I know like flower pots will kind of multiply at mom's house. Like,
but they'll have like the corner cracked out of it, some of that.
Yeah. Or even we've kind of gotten into more buying just potted plants now instead of, she used to like pot all of her own. So then at the end of the season, you dump them out and then you have these pots.
Yep.
But you don't need them. Next year, you're just going to buy more again, right? So great time to go through that stuff. And last, old paint and spray paint. That stuff, again, we kind of like, oh, well, maybe I don't.
You keep it all lined up in the back of the garage.
Yeah. Keep a handful, but let the rest go.
Yeah.
It's just clutter, right? If we're not using it. So there you go. There you have it. 21 things.
Get rid of this.
Let them go. Send a picture to support at the minimum mom. That'll be fun to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I just think I can't believe, I'm living with the least stuff like I ever, and we're at an Airbnb right now, by the way. But I am living with the least
Dawn's not
stuff.
living at the Airbnb.
I'm not living at the Airbnb. Nope.
New office.
Just
for
a quiet place to
time.
get away to and record. I am living with the least amount of stuff I have ever probably since I was a child. It is so freeing and so great. Yeah. And none of the stuff, it doesn't fix anything, right?
Yeah.
If stuff would have made things better or easier, if it's making your life easier, keep it. We have microwaves and computers and phones, like washing machines. Like, I'm not getting rid of anything that makes my life easier, but I can't believe how much of a burden all of the other stuff was.
And again, I think just to continue to just pull back the curtain on the lie, like the lie is you need more and more and more, and it's never been easier. And so like when I need something on Amazon, sometimes I'll let it rest in my cart for a little bit, but then you tend to just go get it, right?
Yeah.
And so stuff's always coming in. I read we have the average house has 300,000 items in it.
Yeah.
And that's like 50 times the house that we grew up with. I mean, it's insane. And so again, just to normalize that, like, we are not the problem.
We're just not meant to. Like, our brains are not good at managing details and inventory. Like, when you actually look at how our brains are meant to solve problems and
relate to
grow
people.
And not to manage like all of this old stuff. And it is all inventory that you have to manage. And even if it's in a garage or a storage space or in a cabinet out of sight, it's still here. Like we talk about the silent to-do list, you are still managing it.
Yeah.
And so we don't often think that, and especially as homes have gotten bigger and you have bigger closets and places for it, it is still all inventory that you're managing. And it's hanging over your head, and it keeps us from feeling this freedom and hope and like, it's spring, yay. Like, what are we going to do? Let's see. Can we find the list somewhere? Sorry if you already addressed this question. No, we can, we'll make sure to put it in the description as well.
When the replay is posted here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good question.
Yep. Oh, tips and trick for a minimal homeschool.
Next live. We'll do that in the next live.
Homeschool parents are like such hoarders.
Dawn.
In a good way. Like,
well, we have to be resourceful.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't.
Oh yeah, Diana homeschools now too. So.
I know everybody doesn't learn the same way. I tried keeping the math box from one year to the next, but then the pieces were missing. Okay. But I didn't want to throw away the whole math box because those are still very nice things in there, but I had to get a new one.
You got to keep low inventory.
Yeah.
And so something we've talked about like in our membership group is, so have the stuff you're currently using for this homeschool year, right? And then have like your queue of like, what would come next? Like, what books would we read? What curriculum? So you have this, and then you're like, what would be up next? And then box up the rest of the stuff and put it away and time test it and see if you actually end up missing any of it.
Yeah.
We acquire all of this extra inventory, realizing like we don't use dearly as much as we, again, going to Diana's like perfect world scenarios. We never get through or use as much as we think we're going to.
And I think we feel too a lot of pressure to do a lot of extra stuff because we think we're supposed to be curating the perfect learning environment and perfect experience for our kids. But so much of what the joy of homeschool is that we just actually get to do life together. We get to cook our meals together, and we get to have open-ended play and discussion and time together. And so I think sometimes too, a lot of that stuff comes in because we feel like we have to do more structured activities and more intentional experiences. And that can really clutter things up too.
Yeah, no. And also, I think both of us now too, even though we have chosen to homeschool, like I think we're much more open-minded about like, hey, some kids need to go to school. Some parents need their kids to go to school. Like we take it like each year at a time, each student. I mentioned like one of ours is like, I'm going back to school. And I'm like, I would love for you to go back to school. Right. So even when we talk about homeschooling stuff, we're like, even that, I think we're
super
very open-minded about now. Awesome. All right. And no, our brother does not. We have a brother who's 2 years younger. So he has a YouTube channel called Farmer Unorthodox, and he does not have any kids. He has never been married. So,
but his email is
no, and he's not looking.
I'm looking
for him. Yeah. Diana's happily married.
My email is no, we're good.
No.
Yeah, I'm looking for him. Yeah, I want him to be as happy as I am, so I'm trying to control him.
Yeah,
that's okay. It's in a loving, great way.
Speaking of which, you haven't really gotten to comment on my recent life updates and changes and all of that.
My thinking has been expanded through this process. If I'm really honest, I probably would have been too simple-minded and saying prayer and perseverance can solve anything. So I think that's been, and I've just seen you handle things in such a prayerful, honoring, process-oriented way as well, like not rushing into things, seeking outside counsel, like making sure you're looking at all the resources, considering first and foremost what's best for the kids. So watching you behind the scenes go through this process, I just think everyone would be just so grateful and proud for how you've handled it. And even I know a lot of people too, just how you've shared it in a way that's honest and authentic, but also again honoring, and I just appreciate everybody's been so understanding. Well, so supportive, thank you, but also so understanding of like obviously every detail can't be shared on here, but I just think the love and the support of this community too has been overwhelming. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you always expect negative things. How small of a percentage that has been blew my mind. So yeah, no, I appreciate that. And people have asked like, what does Dinah think? Has she been supportive? Oh my God, still my number one cheerleader. And, I didn't tell you everything all along. And you got married later. So you and Prince have been married for 7 years, 8 years?
9,
right? And so I was kind of getting in the thick of like, and you're
and
just getting married and like Princeton's, like Princeton and so you like have all this fun stuff going on and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna like bring her down with like this. And luckily I had other like good friends around me at the time that were navigating it with me. And so it really wasn't until more recently, I think, that you kind of fully got brought into the loop of what I'd been thinking and feeling and going through and all of that. And so I know you would have been supportive through it all. It wasn't like I didn't like think you would be supportive, but I just, it was just like, and I was still just very much like, I don't know, like, what's normal,
and I think
not,
especially for anyone who's gone through it, even if it's right, doesn't mean it's not painful and hard and terrible. So it's one of those things that I think is, I mean, it's still hard. And even with all the support that you have, and there's still good days and hard days, and hard dynamics that come up. And there's still so much everything and collaboration happening. And Tom too, I think you guys have handled it in a really great way of being able to go on vacation together and always looking at what's best for the kids. So.
And I do appreciate that. That was like probably the number one like piece of advice, even though you all were so like respectful to be like, not going to tell you what to do, but if I could mention one thing, like your like the relationship obviously still between Tom and I has to be civil and like for the kids. And so that is, very important to us. So but I don't know. It's what a roller coaster. Even I'm really like, there's just different dates that come up and you're like, well, a year since this. And it's just like, I'll be like, I'm doing good. And in the new year, I'm like, all right. And someone said like, you have your sparkle back in your eye and I appreciate it. And then now like even the last week and a half, and I'm like, just feel like I've got buried again with like sadness or processing different things, but it's good. Like it's life, right? Like this is life. So.
And you're not alone. I know
this and that was what I realized.
A lot of people's story. And I think sometimes there isn't, if you haven't gone through it, I think sometimes there isn't as much understanding for it.
Sure.
And so, or again, if you don't know all the details, sometimes people draw their own conclusions and, or you lose relationships or, and so there's, I think a lot of collateral damage that you wouldn't necessarily know unless you've gone through it. And so that's again, where all the support has been so helpful in the understanding and I've definitely, it's just grown my understanding and empathy like 100-fold. So,
And I mean, I think the only thing I often feel guilty, like survivor's guilt, like, why do I get like such a great family around me? And my, our parents are just like, come home. Like you're, however long, whatever you need.
And they're so great with the kids. And it's such a just beautiful environment for the kids. And
and so I wish everyone, had that obviously. And so, I don't know. So I'm glad like, it's been hard to record videos at mom and dad's. They're awesome. And if I would say like, hey, can you guys clear out? And I'm going to, and I do lots of stuff. So for our membership group there in lives, and they do, and they're so cooperative. And also I don't always want to feel like I'm putting them out either. Right. So that it was like, hey, what if we just like rent a little Airbnb to record at and get away to? It's been kind of fun.
Kind of great.
I know Diana comes down too just for peace and quiet.
Well, I didn't even think about, because I usually record at home too. I didn't think about, I have to make sure the kids are quiet or nappy and, just some of those levels of coordination, or that corner of the house is perfectly picked up. And there's just a lot of dynamics that go into it. But walking in here, and this is like, it's so cute and it's really brightly lit. It's just been, it's a fun little reprieve, little cottage.
So that's been awesome. So
there's been so many little like hugs like that along the way, I feel like.
Well, and probably too, I saw a question too of someone said like, Dawn, has your faith changed? Or, and I've shared a little bit like, there's a deconstruction process, I think, that goes along with this and a certain level of disillusionment. So, but I'm really grateful for it because you don't actually really know what you believe until it's tested and you decide for yourself. Like, so there's things that have changed and evolved and being okay with that,
Yeah.
right? Like for all of us to say, oh, I used to believe this, but now I believe this, or to be able to like have the maturity to be like, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, we can change our opinions and our beliefs as we go, and we learn more and we have more data to work with. So,
and those those moments just establish you. Like it's such a good, like you said, it's such a good thing. So
yeah. So, well, and Diana, I guess we didn't say it earlier. And Diana's a pastor, so
so proud of you. My channel is faith-based. My community, we study the Bible together, but also like practical daily habits to grow in your faith. Like I'm all about the like, how are we going to walk this out and do this together? Because again, everybody's strapped.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just like trying to, just like what we did here, like let's break this down and make this doable and let you know that you're not alone. And we have, I would say a third of our community doesn't go to church, you know, like it's such a changing time. But the more I study the Gospels, that's where Jesus was. Like, and it's not that we all have to go work in soup kitchens. We just have to understand. I just feel like there's so much less judgment than we might think. And he was just there with the woman who was caught in adultery and with the, you know, tax collectors who were hated. And he's just there with them. And he's just with us in these messy moments, hard moments, moments where we don't know if it's actually real. And so I think that's just the real everyday life of it. Yeah. So it's not about Sunday mornings.
Yep. Why does Dawn say the word always interestingly, but Diana doesn't? I thought it was just how y'all grew up saying it, but I guess that. How do I say always? 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 Always. I say it.
I always do. Don't we say it the same?
I don't know.
I always go to... say it again.
That's awesome. Always? Always?
No, but say it in a sentence.
I always like to declutter things.
I always like to... Well, now I'm being sassy. Okay.
I do see that comments about like, build a tiny house, Dawn. I don't think I'll build a tiny house. I have been looking at park model campers to make like a little retreat getaway.
What's a park model?
So they're meant to be like, it's like a big camper that's meant, you just put it in place and leave it there, and big windows. So that's what's really cool about it. So
sounds like
I'll let you know if you
nice respite.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because I love it at mom and dad's, but also like I think everybody could rotate through and benefit from mom and dad too. So
like
Princeton can stay at it if you want. You know, so
couple extra rooms wouldn't hurt anybody.
Oh, I usually skip the L in always. Oh, that's why when I say it's always.
Oh,
like
interesting.
Like a 4-year-old.
Never outgrew that one, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are your middle names? So I'm Dawn Julia. After both of us are after great grandmas. So on my dad's side, Grandma Julia.
And I'm Diana Rose. And when Dawn was in labor with her first, they decided to tease me and say that they were naming the baby after me. And I had this like emotional, like, oh, really? Kind of aunt moment. And then they're like, no.
I don't think I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then, so then when their second daughter was born, Maggie, then they named her Maggie Rose after Diana Rose. But it could not have been more providential because Maggie is my protege.
Yeah.
And I get that girl. And so she's my little buddy.
Yeah. So. No, it's so helpful because whenever I don't like understand Maggie or we're kind of butting heads, I'm like, okay.
Yep. What would Diana do?
She's Diana. What do we got to do here?
What does Diana need? She needs to be seen,
heard,
and know that she's succeeding.
Like, okay, like I can see you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh my goodness. Yep. Awesome. Well, so good to get to spend this time with you today. And
is this what you always do down here?
No,
at your Airbnb? Oh, okay. Oh, she does so often.
I know, it's fun.
Thanks, everybody.
Right?
This was fun.
So,
well, I have more words if anybody... No?
Okay. I don't want to stay on.
I don't have to go. Do you have to go?
Yeah, it's true. She would. Yeah.
I don't know. Should we just switch to my channel?
Yeah, right. No, that's awesome. Oh, gosh. Your thoughts on having a garage sale... following a mass downsizing, empty nesters.
Oh, okay.
What do you think, Diana?
I've never actually had a garage sale. Dawn and I tried to do one at her townhome when you had 2 kids.
Yeah.
And we like literally got everything set up in the driveway, but it was like not enough.
I know.
And we're just kind of like, this doesn't seem worth it. And so we loaded it up in your van and took it to Goodwill.
Yeah. We're not big I used to love going to garage sales, but we're not well, because we lived in the country too, so we didn't do garage sales.
Yeah. And I am also gonna we did this last year. We ordered a dumpster for our community for spring cleaning. We have a little neighborhood community, and oh my goodness, it was
Are you
so
doing
fun.
it again this spring? Yeah.
Oh, I've been looking around my house and like, okay, that's gonna go, that's gonna go. And I think the second year people will understand it. People were so tentative at first.
Yeah.
But now this year, I think that thing's gonna fill up in 3 days. So it's just kind of
I love
fun.
it. Man, if you can afford a dumpster. So okay, back to
or
the garage
everybody
sale
offered to pay. Like you could actually pool resources.
Yeah.
And
Oh, everyone pitches in like $20. Like
Yeah.
you could cover it.
Yeah.
We're not big fans of garage sales. If you really have the time and energy and you want to,
or that sounds fun, or you want to pair up with a couple
just
other
price
people.
things really reasonably so it goes and you don't have to do anything with it. But otherwise,
we're not recouping the investment that was made initially. This is just literally a way to have people declutter and take our things for us.
Yeah.
Maybe a little vacation fun money, but not.
Yeah. So if you need the money and you have the bandwidth, great. If not, load it up and donate it and move on with life. Like, I feel like you're going to make all that money back like over the next year, but
yeah,
just what I think.
Or peace of mind is priceless.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. All right. So there you go. Permission to let it all go. Get the dead stuff out of your house. If it's not adding value, it's clutter. You don't need it. None of us need it. So
there's your tough love for the day.
Well, thank you. I am so grateful for you. My goodness. Like, wow. I mean, I was grateful for you before, but now these last month or so, like,
yeah,
I could not feel more supported or loved or encouraged. So thank you. And yeah, I hope we can continue to stick together. And like 2025 is the year for the Decluttered House. We've hung out, you got the information, and now we're like getting it done. So
Dawn has approximately 700 videos that you can just put on replay.
Yeah, over 800. Yeah.
Okay. Motivation, instruction, anything. We got you.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right.
And your membership committee is there too.
Okay. You need a little more, help.
Support.
We spend a lot of time together. A lot of time together in there too.
All right.
Thanks. All right. Well, we love you. We hope you have a really good day, and we'll see you again soon.
I always love this time together.
She can't stop. All right.